Hello and welcome. In this video, I'm going to be giving you an introduction to your plyometrics. So if you want to get faster, you want to be strong out in the field, then plyometrics is going to help you be fast out in the field. It's going to help make your joints ready. It's going to help out your muscles be ready for the collision, for all of the impacts that you're going to be going through in the rugby field. And that includes sprinting fast and all of these different things. So a good training program will have plyometrics in it. Now, a lot of people are afraid to do plyometrics. So a lot of people will do their plyometrics and they'll be like, oh, you can't do too much because you'll hurt your tendons. Okay, but realistically, that just means you've done too much for what the tendon wasn't ready for. Okay, and what we need to do is just gradually build up the tendons. The tendons, they develop a lot slower than a muscle will. Okay, and so we just need to gradually build into them. And so for all my programs, I try and give people some very easy plyometrics to do. Now, plyometric is not just a jump. It's when a muscle contracts. It's like an elastic band. Whoop. So plyometrics is actually not just like a jump where you're just going one way. It's actually when you rapidly, okay, contract a muscle, okay, from so your plyometrics aren't just your big jumps, okay, because that's not really a plyometric. It's actually when you have an eccentric motion, okay, and then a rapid concentric, okay, because that's going to be your plyometrics. Okay, so it's very different to just doing your big jumps, like your broad jump, like a single broad jump. So when you're doing it, when you want to start off, so let's look at the legs, okay, because a lot of the legs where we look sort of first. You need to do some plyometrics for upper body, but I'll get to that at a later date. So I haven't warmed up yet, so I'm going to use this as a bit of my warm up, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go 2 feet together and I'm going to start bouncing up and down, okay? Looks real silly. All right, just on the spot. Okay, and these are like your beginnings to your pogos. Most people, even with they have a little bit of pain, they should be able to do this. Just this, I'm hardly getting off the floor. But there's that rapid contraction, eccentric and contraction happening. Okay, and as I warm up, I can go a little bit higher. Just like this. Getting myself off the floor now. Okay, as you sort of warm up and you get better, you'll be able to start going higher and higher. Now, this is quite a soft grass, okay? You might be doing this on a gym mat or something like that, which you'll have a lot more bounce out of it. So it's actually good to do it on different surfaces too. If the surface is more hard, then your tendon's gonna have to be stronger. If the surface is quite soft, right, the muscles actually have to be stronger. So it's actually good to be able to do these on different surfaces. I usually get all my sprint programs obviously on grass, but usually the grass is quite soft. So it's good as it's not going to be as brutal on the tendon straight away. So anyone can just do this, right? Anyone can then start adding in, going forwards and back, okay? Or you can add it in, going forwards, and you can get a little bit of knee bend into it. Like, I don't mind knee bend. Anyone can start to get that and build it higher and higher as you warm up. As your tendons get better over time, you want to start getting that higher and higher. Now with this sort of easy plyometric, you can do more of this, okay? It's not going to be like your more intense, like your big broad jumps. Anything where you're going to have to do a big landing is going to be easier on the tendons, okay? So what you want to do before you even get to those big jumps, you want to get lots of blood flow going. You want to get everything warm. So another good one I like to do is to open up the hips and to drop into this position. And see how I'm just bouncing on that back leg. So it's a really good drill that we do in our speed and agility program actually, is opening up this back leg in like a lunge position, jump, and then we can start switching. And this deep position's also going to help prepare your hips. Get into these deep positions, okay? As that blood starts to come in, you'll start to feel better. Now we want to have plyometrics going in all sort of different directions, okay? Because that's going to help you out for the field. So get your side. It's not really a plyometric. If I wanted to make it a plyometric, I would be coming that quick contraction, landing, contraction, makes it a plyometric. But it's good to warm up, just pushing off, getting that landing, that stiff-legged landing. All right, what we're trying to do is create that bounce. Okay, we're trying to get these ankles to be quite stiff and to be able to take that force. Now, one more exercise for your warm-up, or that you might like to do, or just in general I think is good to do, is to get down low and just bounce here and be able to get in this deep position, almost like a jump. So that's another good one you can do, just to open up the hips, get everything going, because usually when we're doing our broad jumps, when you do your big broad jump, you'll end up landing in that position and your braking mechanisms will be stopping you. Now this is a key one for our speed, and a lot of kids can't do it, okay? A lot of rugby players can't do it. Obviously, as you advance up the levels, you see the best players, how good they are on one leg and how much force they can get out of one leg. Just the ability to hop. Like, can your child hop, or can you hop? This goes for all rugby players. No matter what position you play, you should just be able to hop. Really simply. I know it's a simple one, but you'll be surprised at how kids can't hop. All right? Should be able to go forwards and backwards. Really easy. That's going to be your beginning to actually sprinting well, okay? It's that ability to hop on one leg, all right? And you'll start to see the best kids, or the fastest kids, can usually hop really well. Now, you have really stiff ankles, okay? And that means when they're running, I'll show you in our running videos, is that they're able to get their foot down right under them, and they're able to push off their balls of their feet, or even closer to the toes in the takeoff. Okay, so start hopping, right? And as you hop, all you need to do to progress it is start getting a bit higher. And it's just that little bit more height is then starting to make you work a bit harder, but also there's more force coming into the ground, okay, which makes it a bit of a slower plyometric, right? It's not going to be quick ones. And then it's going to help out with that power production, right? Someone said on one of my comments, oh, if you don't do weights for kids, then they're missing on bone density. Well, that's about as much bone density as you can get. It's about a hop on one leg like that. Okay, so if you couldn't even do that, so like what you can do with kids is get them to hang on to something. Like in the gym, I get them to hang on to some bars or something along that nature. And then you can start really building it up, getting some height. Ooh, my legs are a bit sore from the legs yesterday. Anyway, so that's sort of the next step, being able to hop on one leg. Then you can open it up even further and seeing how far you can hop like this. So just starting off by being able to bounce on one leg, right? If you can do that and then start to open it up, that's effectively going to help out your sprinting more than anything. Like being able to bound on one leg and, you know, obviously not have tendon issues, that's going to be massive for you. And so like I recommend that at least once or twice a week, especially for kids, like younger kids. They're light, they shouldn't have the tendon issues. You can really build them up on this sort of thing. And like they can't jump very far yet, so you don't really worry about the tendon issues as much because there's not as much force going into it. Whereas someone quite big, or if you've got a kid that's really big, if you're quite big, then yeah, you might have to worry about it a bit more, but I'm sure they can't jump that far yet. Okay, so like, it's just a level system for where you're at. And that's what you need to find. It's sort of like where you're at. And then you can just build upon that. So while you're building upon that, I always have the broad jumps in there. So I always have our broad jump. So what I'm going to try and do is spring out every single time I land. Okay, so And you're trying to get as much distance as possible with that. So there's a big difference between that and just like a one-off broad jump. So a one-off broad jump is going to show me how far you can jump, how much power your legs have in them. Okay, and power obviously needs strength. So if you're doing the body weight programs, you'll be getting strength in your legs, so that will be taking you further and further. So for kids, you'll notice they'll actually get really good at this quite fast. So if you can do this once or twice a week, man, they will get way more powerful. If you're a bit older, you don't have the ability, so like your knees and stuff hurt, don't do this one yet. Like, just do it lightly. Like, you might just go here and work on that quick takeoff, right? But if you're really good, you might go here, you know, and as you get better and better, what you can do is take it right down, and you can get, and you see how I get right into those deep positions. So that should give you a start with your plyometrics. Now we can complicate it all you like, but as long as you get that first sort of base for your legs and doing your plyos, so like your pogos, and just building them up, like how high can you actually jump with your pogos? You can do cross legs, you can go your sides, like that's not a pogo, but there's so many ways you can actually start building yourself up with plyometrics. For kids, it's awesome. For adults, it's awesome. And it's going to help out your speed work. It's going to help out your tendons. So make sure you're adding them in. They're in part of all of our programs. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. And yeah, share it with your friends. Oh, and we're going to have more of this coming. So we've got more speed work coming, what you should be doing. And it's all starting at the very basics, and we're going to build up to more advanced.